Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in this world. This is Hejin Lee with the daily update for the S&P 500 index. Let's look at the cycles. At around where it is right now, the 10-week is rolling over to the downside, the yellow. And that's creating a little bit of a correction. Okay. Now, by August 13th or so, the green will be pulling down as well, the 5-week. The green will be pulling down, the yellow will be pulling down. So I think what's probably going to happen is we're going to have a bit of a correction, go up, and then come down into August 23rd or so. So this may move like that. Earlier. But meanwhile, the 20 and the 40 week cycles are pointing upwards. It's still pulling it up. And I think the dominant cycle is the 9-month, the 40-week cycle, which is the dominant cycle. Now, when we get to November, and I've said this last time, that's when I think we'll see a pretty severe correction. So it'll look like this. Potentially. Because the November correction will likely be sizable. The reason is because in November, both the 5-week, 10-week, and the 20-week will be pulling it down really hard. It'll be at their maximum momentum of pull down within the November time frame. So again, I think for this, by first half of August, from now until then, we'll still rise. Maybe do an all-time high, probably, and then decline because the 5 and 10 weeks are pulling it down. And then from there, rise again and decline hard into November. So that's from now until November projection using just the cycles. Okay, for the very short-term micro counts, really nothing much has changed. Yeah, the big Facebook hoopla, how scary that was, I know. Many panic sold. Many thought that was the top and we're going to go to a crash mode, etc. I don't think we're there yet. Based on the cycles I showed you, I think we're going to rise until the first half of August. I think we'll hit 2880. That'll be wave 3, finishing of wave 3, 1, 2, and 3. And that'll decline because the 5 and 10 week are pulling it down, and then rise again, keep rising until November. So what you're seeing right now, this, I think, is a minutiae. It is negligible, a minor correction. In fact, you may be seeing you may be seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You're seeing the subwaves of 3. There you go. I knew I had something off on the degree of trends, and my label on the degree of trends are off. I'm sorry. I need to change this to there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm raising the projection to 2918. There you go. And this should jive well with the peak on the first half of August. And then from there we'll decline into a correction, not a crash. We're not at a crash scenario. There are many bears, perma bears, calling for S&P 1000, Dow 400, so on and so to speak. These same people have been making the same calls since March of 2009. And they made the same calls back into 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, and they're still making the same calls. Just consider how much damage they may have done to the people who listened to them and went maximum leverage short. That must have been very painful to have been short from 2009, March of 2009 to today. So, I think into the first half of August, bullish. I hope you found this to be helpful. My analysis is not for you to follow blindly. My analysis is provided so you can augment your own due diligence. That is the only objective of my analysis. Have a great day.